I would like to share with other people our experience in this vacation. And it's not just the vacation that is the main important thing. It's the memories, the experience that we're having, and what we can get from other countries and other cultures that we can learn from them. And we can improve in our life and other people's life. So what's your takeaway from this trip?
I mean, for me, a lot of it is the different perspectives that you get when you travel. I mean, we go from country to country, and we've been to quite a few now over the last 4 or 5 years, and it's the same thing in every country. There might be different cultures, people might eat different food, they might have different customs, but you always see, like, especially with the Uber drivers, it's always the same story. Like, there's people that complain about their lives, and there's people that are happy and are fulfilled. And you see those types of similarities wherever you go. And it's the same thing in the U.S. So you kind of like relate it back to how life is in the U.S. And it's like, yeah, some people have different circumstances, but you make your life what you want it to be, essentially. So like we'll get an Uber driver and they'll say, yeah, this place is really hard to make a living. Like, it sucks. We're live paycheck to paycheck. But then we'll go somewhere else. So go stay at the Four Seasons, and you might meet somebody that's like, oh yeah, we love it here. Like, we're from a different part of Spain, or we're here and it's the best place ever. We do this, we have this business, or where we work in this area, and it's awesome. So you just kind of see like the different perspectives, and also you see the wealth gap. And I think obviously wealth isn't everything. It actually means nothing if you don't know what to do with it. But you see like people who are usually on the lower end are complaining, they're unhappy with life, they're actually not looking for a way out. They're just stuck in a cycle. And the people that are wealthier a lot of times are not in that. They're out in the boats, they're enjoying their life. And it's really sad to see sometimes, because the only difference between those people that are on the boat and those people that are driving the Ubers is the information that they have and what they've done with it. So a lot of people don't think that anything's possible, and some people think anything's possible, and so there lies a difference. But just to tie it back in with like what I get out of traveling, you just see different people and their viewpoints, and you kind of realize that everybody's really the same. It doesn't matter where you are. And it's all about like how you look, it's all about your internal perspective. Whether you're from Venezuela, you're from the USA, you're from Spain, Portugal, whatever. It ends up being about what is in your brain and what you do with it. So that's kind of like a big takeaway, like big picture. Some other small stuff, I mean, just like the way people treat you, depending on where you are, just the customs are different. You go to Europe, people are dry. They're not a service base of the US, but it's also because they're not incentivized. People don't work for tips when you go to a restaurant here, but in the US you do. So people are nicer in the US and here. Also family, in the US, the family is not as close as it is in other countries. I mean, even like from Austin, but we're from Venezuela, our family is like pretty tight knit. Whereas, you go maybe even like Spain, like families aren't as close in Spain. Everybody's just kind of doing their own thing. So it's just like little things like that also like you are aware of. And honestly, I'm kind of on a tangent here, but just like also the different architecture and wherever we go, it's also pretty cool to see like different types of buildings and like the history behind them. Like, a lot of the buildings here are old. Like we're sitting in this Airbnb right now, it's renovated, and it's renovated in a much different way than a renovated building would be in the US, because it's much older. The construction here is a lot cheaper than the US, so they're able to do a lot more with less money. But anyways, I'll let you take it up. I'm off on a tangent there.
No, I've been running with Camila in the last 18 days and sharing experiences and sharing knowledge. And the most important to me is, that my kids get that financial education that I was lack of when I was younger. And I can say that it didn't allow me to improve my life or my financial life, but it would be easier. You get it sooner than later. And when you are the only one in charge of your kids and you can share. And I've been talking to them about our goal. I think it's my purpose in life. Share with people my experiences, the good things that I've been through life in the last 10, 15 years that changed financially, but not only economically. It's just the improve yourself, your personal growth, and share that with different people and many people that want to take advantage of it. But it's hard because in all countries what we be is the same percentage. One or most 2% of the people take advantage of the good lifestyle, of the economics, of the financial benefit that you have when you work for yourself and you can be independent and you can grow your business. So that's the most important for me in this, is sharing with Camila, that is my younger daughter, that she can do whatever she wants to. But the main thing is be happy and share with other people. So I be pushing them or telling them, why don't we do something with the young people? I'm not an English speaker really, so but I would like that they can share with a lot of young people the experience that we're having and what they doing, that they investing in themselves, they investing in assets that in order to can have a different life. It's not the money itself, it's a kind of life that you can have and that you enjoy the life. Most of the people that I see here complain, blaming the same thing that in the United States. So the most important is that you be happy, but if you're gonna keep in the place that you're now with the income that you have, you don't complain, don't blame other people and be happy. But most of the people here that we talk to were blaming or complaining about life, about the economy, about the government, the same thing that other countries. So I'm gonna let Camila with her takeaway.
So like he said, the past like 2 or so weeks we've been running, and when we're running, like we both kind of have like this time where we can just like think and like reflect on like what we're doing and like everything going on around us. And in the past couple of years, I've really just fallen in love with traveling everywhere that we've gone. And the one thing in my mind is like, how am I going to sustain this type of living and grow our companies and teach other people how to do this too? Because people are always asking, oh, how do you travel so much? How are you going here and how are you going there? But it's not even about like doing this one job or another job. It's just about what education you have to do whatever you want, but be able to like fulfill your purpose and what you want to do in life. So that's kind of my takeaway. And I feel like in the past like year or so, it's like been my most like transformational year. I've learned like a lot since like graduating high school and stuff and going up to college by myself. And the types of things that you can learn from other resources are different from things that you learn in school, and they both have their values and stuff, but it's really important to have either a mentor or go out of your way to find out this information so that you can do whatever you want in life without always thinking about how am I going to fund this and stuff like that. So it's not even about like the materialistic stuff. It's just so that you can do what you want in your life and your goals and stuff without having that worry in the back of your mind. So I feel like that's like my biggest takeaway. And I also feel like during like these vacations, not only are we like seeing beautiful things and going to beautiful places, but we also have the time as a family to talk about different things that we normally don't have time to talk about, like different business ideas or just things within like the company and our goals and aspirations that like we don't really have time to talk about much since we all live in different places. But yeah, I think that'd be my biggest takeaways. And
that's a good point. That's a good point about the different conversations that we're able to have. I think from a day-to-day basis, you're in college, you're off in Hawaii, he's doing his thing in Orlando, I'm in Miami now, and so we don't get to sit down too often anymore and just like talk shop. So I think when we go on these trips, it's just a good opportunity to really figure out what we're doing, because everybody's the same. Like him, you, we're all the same. We just think differently, and all the information that we have, we interpret it differently. I think I'm talking to Spain. Interpret it differently. So whatever he's learning, whatever you're learning, whatever I'm learning, it's going through our heads in a different way. And so when we're able to bounce ideas off each other, like we're able to come up with something different that we wouldn't have unless we talk about it. So I think it's really cool that we get to sit down, have dinner, and we'll get to talk about like, hey, I'm doing this with my business. And then he'll say, oh, well, have you thought about this? Or it's like, hey, how can we collaborate on something? Even like this video that we're doing right now stemmed from us at dinner saying, hey, we should talk about this because there's other people that, I mean, maybe they don't give a shit, maybe they do, but there's other people that may take something from it and be more curious, because at the end of the day, if you're curious, you're going to get more information. It might be good or it might be bad. It just depends what you're looking for. But if you're curious, you're able to develop as a person. Like we're in this world. We're not here forever. And you could do the rat race and you can, just wake up, go to work, have your drink, go to sleep. Which is fine. But I want to get the most out of life. I want to experience things. I want to go to different places. If there's something nice, I want to experience it.
And I feel like in a lot of our recent topics of conversation during dinners and stuff, the same thing that keeps coming up is how are we going to help other people know what we know now? Because we're all at different stages of life, and each of us in a different stage of life know so many people that don't know what we know, that we knew like 10 or so years ago, like what he didn't know 10 or so years ago. And we're still learning every day, but just to like give that spark to people, then they can have a different life if they want to. That's like what we've been talking about recently, and we just want to help as many people as we can, especially younger people and parents that want to help their kids learn. So that's kind of what we've been talking about recently.
Yeah, we have a project in the works right now, and it's going to be pretty educational, in my opinion, just for people who want information, for people who are curious, and for people who are, like my dad, he caters to a lot of people that are around his age, maybe a little bit younger, maybe 30s, but, we were really talking about, okay, what if we come up with something that's more for people that are younger, that are like us, and my mom had the information. We were very privileged that we have parents who have a lot of information. They've sought information, and they've gone through different stages where, okay, if we were at rock bottom, and we've also been at the top, I mean, relatively, and we've also been in the middle, and it kind of fluctuates, but we have the information that separates the two. And so you're fortunate to have that information, and not everybody does. I talk to a lot of my friends, a lot of friends of friends, and they just think they're stuck. They think life is how it is, and they might have parents that are the same way. So they don't have a mentor, like you said earlier. Like you need a mentor to kind of guide you, and if you don't have that, then you're only as good as your information. So, like I said, we have a project in the works, and we're pretty excited about it. Camilla and I and our other sister are working on something right now to just help those people who are curious and they want to have the choice. At the end of the day, just want to have the choice. Do I want to travel? Do I want to stay home? Do I want to do both? You can do anything. You can have a job and be wealthy. You can have a business and be wealthy. You can do both of those and be poor. It just depends what you want. But I think the important thing is just have the choice. So that's why we're kind of teaming up and doing this project, and also to just develop ourselves. Because when you create things, you become a better person yourself, and you have more opportunities. So I'm pretty excited about it.
Yeah, what I'm proud of them is that you have a purpose that I didn't have when I was your age. You have goals, and you're setting goals every single year, every single month. You're checking the goals, and you're going through. You can change your goals, but the purpose, it's kind of same. But I'm so happy that you be clear already in your life, and you wanna do yourself, your own things. You wanna have a personal development, but more of that you wanna share, and you willing to share with other people, and that's what invites you to be part of it. If you have kids, you are taking care of your kids, we invite you to be part of this project that they're gonna develop in the next month, and you put your kids to work from the beginning. and learn the important thing for their life, especially financial things, that they have tools to grow in life economically and personal. But the most important is that you guide them to open their eyes, or you open their eyes and you help them in the future. If you want to help them, so this is a project that they gonna launch soon, and we want you to be part of it. So I was in a conversation last night, nice dinner what we have with some family that we have here in Madrid, and it's the same thing. I was telling them, if I was shaking all this week about the real estate business here, and it's most the same. So some things change, but if I can stop today here, I know that in the next 30, 60, 90 days, I'm going to make money here. I'm going to buy stuff. I'm going to do the things that everybody said that I can't do. And I had the same, I had the same feeling yesterday, because some of them say, you can do this here, you can do this here, but without knowledge. So don't allow other people tell you no when they don't know. So find a way to do it, because you can do wherever you go. I think this is a nice country. I see a lot of advantage for people that want to retire here with some money that they make in the United States. You can live here pretty good with $5,000. 5,000 euros here is a lot of money to live here. And how many people can retire with 5,000 in other countries? And here you can have a nice lifestyle. So, but it's the same feeling that I had last night. So some of them agree. Some of them were pumping out just last night, say, oh, now I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. But most importantly, financial education. Financial education allow you to have the tools to don't allow people to tell no. So again, we invite you to be part of it, and thank you guys. So I want to
go through just some fun stuff here. What was like your favorite part of the trip? So we went for just to kind of go over it. We first went to France. We were in south of France, went to Nice, Cannes, Saint-Tropez, Monaco. And then we went to Portugal, and we went to Lisbon, and we were there for a few days. And now we're here in Madrid, we're visiting some family. But I just kind of want to talk about the trip, because that's like the fun part about it too. It's not just about, working hard. It's about enjoying the fruits of your labor. So what was your favorite part of the trip?
I really like the south of France, and it's just beautiful. And it also made you look around and be like, there's more, and not just settling for whatever you're doing. And then obviously I liked seeing our family that we have here, because we had seen them in a pretty long time.
Right. What was your favorite meal of the trip?
I really like the Spanish food.
Like, can you think of one specific thing you really enjoy really good? The cold cut?
No, the croquette.
The croquette, ham croquettes are good. How about you?
I like the beach, so I like Monaco, I like Cannes, so it was pretty nice. And the good thing is that you keep doing your habits and the same thing. So we wake up, going to do some exercise, go eat, enjoy, and that I like what you say. So it's not only work, it's enjoy the result of your work. But I like be with you, share with you too many things that we build those memories that we're gonna never forget as a family. And that's the main thing, the family, because that in the time, that's where you got you have your family. So you can count on your family, and think that this society needs more of this, need more family together, working together and sharing together. What about you? And then food, I like bread. So I love bread. So every day I've been eating bread. I was like all this year for keeping myself, trying to get in shape. I haven't been able to, just a little bit. But here, bread is pretty good. So I love it. So a lot of good bread. Fish, pretty good.
Yeah. I think for me, as far as like the cool stuff, I'm glad we got to go to the south of France. We also went to the Weeknd's concert, which is one of my favorite artists. That was pretty cool. I got to see him in the USA, then seeing him in Europe was different. No idea the songs for this music, but it's still cool. Yeah, I think the south of France is pretty cool. That was probably my favorite part. Just the water is really nice. It's similar to Positano, where we've been in Italy, but just like a little bit more refined, I guess you could say it. Favorite food? There's this Dover sole that we had in, where was this? At Monaco? Yeah, in Monaco, and it was just really good. But I think my favorite memory of all for just this whole trip was, like she said, there was family that we hadn't seen in 5 to 8 years, somewhere in that range. And we got to see our little cousin who we grew up with. He's awesome artist, just really good artist, and they lived in Venezuela for a bit. Obviously, Venezuela is not the most privileged country. It's another Madrid, a lot better situation. But we actually, as a family, we gifted him an iPad, and it's going to be cool to see what he's able to do with it. Just because, you know, iPad has a lot more tools. He had like an old Chromebook that he was drawing on, but now he has his iPad, and it's going to be cool. We should probably link some like Salazar, maybe pretty cool. Yeah, it's just to what he's going to be able to do with technologies. I think technology is really good. Enables you to do things that you wouldn't be able to do if you didn't have it. So that's pretty cool.
So if you can give an advice to the people for the next 5 years, what would you say?
I would say just to learn as much as you can when you're young so that you don't have to worry about it later, and so that you can build your legacy since you're young and, you know, help everyone around you. Like we said, we're trying to not only help everyone out there with what we're planning on doing, but also our family, planning for whenever we have kids in the future, and, you know, just building our legacy as a family as much as we can, and helping everyone that we can just to know everything that we know.
I think advice, be curious. Be curious, like I said it before, be curious about everything. Everything has an explanation. You know, there's an explanation why people are wealthy. There's an explanation why this wine tastes so good. There's an explanation for how we built spaceships. And so if you're curious, you're really able to unlock your potential. Everybody's different. Everybody has different goals, aspirations, and it's not, you know, some people don't want to be wealthy. Some people want to find the cure to cancer. But if you're curious, that kind of solves, it at least points you in the right direction. So if you're curious, you'll be able to get the information that you need for what it is that you want. I think we're all put in here for a purpose. I think a lot of our purposes is to help people out, because if we can help somebody else out, we can make a difference. We can make the world a better place. It all just starts with being curious. If you're curious, you're able to help yourself, and then you can help others. I think if you haven't helped others before, you should. It's a really good feeling. Even for myself, I've been learning just throughout these last few years. I've been able to help some people out. Like how we young people say, it just hits different when you can help somebody else and you can really make a difference in their life. So it's kind of mine.
Yeah, well, thank you. And everybody that's gonna watch this video, if you can give a like and tell us what would you like they talk about, what topics you want they talk, or they want to teach your kids or share with your kids. So it would be wonderful for us. And well, we'll see you in the next videos that we're gonna be releasing the next month.
Thank you to our beautiful camerawoman as well.
Yeah, our mom.